Oh, hi. I'm Jen, and welcome to my vlog space. And today I wanted to talk to you about fun tap dance games that you can play in tap class. So I know a lot of you guys on here are dance teachers, or maybe you take a dance class somewhere and you want to give your dance teacher some cool ideas for what to do for the Halloween season when it comes to tap and games that you can play and stuff like that. As a dance teacher, I'm always looking for things for my students to do, especially Halloween week during dress up week when everybody definitely does not have disciplined class on the mind at all. It's just a party that week. You know, you teach them a fun combination to a Halloween song, or you play telephone or something in like the creative movement class and stuff. But what are you supposed to do in tap class? You know, I've got some fun ideas. So, obviously, my favorite game to play in tap class is Name That Tune. I love Name That Tune. It's also called Name That Rhythm because you're not really singing, you're playing a rhythm with your feet, and then the students have to take that rhythm and figure out what song you're trying to do. I love doing that. Like, obviously, there's da 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 da, and your students would go, "Oh, that's the Addams Family," if they know what the Addams Family is, because as they get younger, they stop knowing some of these. Anyway, so you play the game basically like that, and what I want to make sure that everyone is aware of, try to stay on the melody of the song when it comes to the rhythm, because that's what students are going to be able to identify. Like, if you're doing, oh, what's a song? Like the Monster Mash, right? If you want them to try to guess what the Monster Mash is, maybe try to avoid doing all the voices and just do like the main voice. I don't know if the Monster Mash is actually a good idea for that. Or like if you're doing Scooby Doo, right? You want to do da 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 da, right? You don't want to do like da 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 da. You know, they're not going to understand like the extra stuff that you put there is still Scooby Doo. You want to keep it Scooby Dooby Doo. Where are you? And stay to that rhythm so that they go, all right, wait, that rhythm sounds familiar. People hear the melody when they hear songs. So keep the rhythm right on the melody, unless it's Addams Family or something like that, where the melody isn't like the words. You know what I mean? The da 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 da. That's not words. That's just like the music, I guess. Is it an organ? It's like an organ that plays that. I don't know. I can't remember what instrument it is. So name that rhythm, name that tune. It's always a fun one to play. I would listen to a lot of Halloween music before you go to class to play that game, just so that you know which songs to play. Maybe even write out the rhythms that you're going to do so you don't forget one. And then maybe if anyone else in the class, like maybe it's a more advanced class, you could say, hey, does anybody else want to try one? And then they can do one, and then the class can guess that. It can be so much fun. Another game I love to play. Have you ever played Sharks and Minnows with your students? Or maybe you've played Sharks and Minnows. So this is a game where you have a whole bunch of minnows. Like you put most of the class on one side of the room. So like they're lined up over here. And you have one student here. That's a shark. And the minnows have to run across and not get tagged by the shark. Otherwise, you can play one of two ways. They're either out because the shark, got them, or they become a shark too. Like, I guess when you get tagged by a shark, you become a shark. The minnow grows into a shark. It's, whichever. So there's two different ways of playing. I like to play the one where they're out just because it gets crazy otherwise in tap shoes. Like, the noise is just a lot. But because it's a tap class, I add other rules. So the minnows can flap. They can only flap across the floor. They can't do anything else to get across the floor. The shark has to do Irishes, though. The shark cannot flap. It can only Irish. And that actually evens the playing field a little bit because it's a little harder for the shark to catch the minnow. And it gives the minnows like a faster speed that they can go. Especially if you're going to keep adding sharks, making the sharks have to go slower is better because then you don't just immediately go, okay, you're out, you're out, you're out. And it seems a little bit more fair, and they get to practice. So when they switch from minnow to shark, they're practicing a different step. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. So for Halloween, I know you're like, wait, sharks and minnows, that's not Halloween. for Halloween, I change it to ghouls and goblins. So ghouls, the ghosts, are the sharks, and the goblins are the minnows. The goblins try to get across, but the ghouls try to get them, like ghosts and goblins, ghouls and goblins. Name it anything you want. You can do like bats and vampires, or witches and warlocks, or I don't know, just pick something Halloween-like, and it's still the same game, but it gives it a little Halloween twist. And you can play Halloween music in the background, and the kids will have a lot of fun. You can even play it with your adults. Like, I have played this game with adult students before, and they actually have a really good time. So, it's nice. Another thing that you can do in class is to choreograph as a group. I'm not talking about when you, like, group the students into groups, and then they each make, like, their own dance or whatever. I mean, as a group, you stand in front of the class and say, okay, raise your hand if you want to give me a step. And so a student will go, oh, I want to give you one, Irishes. And you're like, okay, I need two more students to give me a step. And then another one goes, flaps. You're like, okay. Third student goes, wings. And you're like, no, because this isn't an advanced class. Give me a different one. And then they're like, oh, how about cramp rolls? Or like, if it is an advanced class, then you can add a wing. This happened to me the other day, so that's why I was thinking about that. So let's say it's Irishes, flaps, and cramp rolls. And you go, okay, so these 3 steps, we're going to make a phrase with these 3 steps. So why don't we do shuffle, hop, step, flap, cramp, roll. And I know they only said 1 Irish and 1 flap, but obviously we're making a phrase. So you tell the students, like, you're going to give me steps, and then we're going to kind of see how many we need to do and put them together to make a sentence, to make a phrase. So you'll go, okay, so we want to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counts. We can do that with 2 Irishes, 2 flaps, and a cramp roll. So let's put all that together. And so you go shuffle, hop, step, flap, step, heel, heel. Or flap, step, heel, heel, depending on how you want to do the rhythm. And so you guys make that phrase, you set it to some Halloween music. Once they have that phrase and everybody knows what it is, you go, okay, I need 3 more steps. And then a student goes, oh, shuffles, oh, paradiddles, oh, pullbacks. And then you go, okay, let's put this together. Shuffle, paradiddle, shuffle, paradiddle, ball, change, pull back, ball, change, pull back. Now, I added a ball change in there, but you have to add like the little filler. And that's okay too. That's why I wanted to go on to one more. Just be like, sometimes you have to add some filler. Because you could do shuffle, step, paradiddle. They didn't say step. They just said shuffle and paradiddle. But you got to add some filler sometimes, depending on the phrase that you're choosing. It turns out to be such a fun game that you can play, and everyone has a hand in making the combination for class. So at the end of the day, like when you record the combination and they look at it, or at the end when they go, oh, look at the dance we all made, they got to help make a fun Halloween dance. And it just becomes like a point of pride, but also like a lot of fun for class. I love doing that during holiday weeks, like Halloween or Christmas time, or a random Halloween or holiday week, like Valentine's Day or something, when the kids are full of candy and don't want to do the normal class plan. Another one that is just like a normal game that people play all the time is freeze dance, right? Kids play freeze dance, adults play freeze dance. I love freeze dance. I'm really terrible at it, actually. Funny story about why. It's not like a story, but like funny reason why. I have this absolute incessant need for phrases to end on 4 or 8, depending on how long the phrase is supposed to be, or like 3 or 6, depending on if it's a waltz. I really want that phrase to end when the musical phrase ends. So when the music stops in the middle of it, I don't automatically hear that it stopped, because my brain is like, finish the phrase, Jen, finish the phrase, Jen. So because that, I am absolutely terrible at freeze dance. But anyway, so when I do freeze dance in my tap classes, I tell them it has to be tap. It gets a little loud. I'm not going to lie. If you have a headache that day, this is not the game to play. But it's a lot of fun. They have to tap. So if they start doing anything that's not tap, you have to pause the music and remind them, like, you will be out if I catch you doing like a lot of dance that is not tap dance. Remember, this is tap class. If this is more of a game for like littles, but my older ones like to play it too. So you just have to remind them, like, please don't do cartwheels. Please don't do pirouettes. Like, this is tap. So make sure it's tap. And it's really easy to hear who stops after the music, too. So it's actually easier to see who's out. And depending on the class, like, you have probably set them up with, like, it's okay if you're out. We're going to do another round. Like, the younger ones have a hard time accepting that they're out, I've learned. Just remind them, like, it's okay to be out. Then you get to sit up here with me. And then they get excited. They get excited to be out. I've learned some of the tricks with the littles. And then lastly, another game that I really, actually two, there's two more. One of the other games that I really, really like to play is Name the Step by Sound. It's not a Halloween game. I don't know how to turn it into a Halloween game, but like you have everyone turned around, facing away from the mirror, and you're behind them, and you do a step, like let's say you go da 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 da, and they have to guess what that step was just by hearing the rhythm, and whether you're on like your toe tap or your heel tap, they really have to like think about what step it is that you're doing. And like that was a buffalo step, shuffle, jump, cross. And so they'll listen to it, and then, all right, who wants to take a guess? And then they raise their hand, and then you go, yeah. And then they're like, was that a Maxi Ford? And you're like, how many sounds does it have? And then you do it. You tell them turn around. You do it again, and then, oh, that's a buffalo. That literally happened like 2 weeks ago in my class. That's why I was like, yeah. So it's a super fun game. It really helps them learn. Like whether it's adult students, this is great in adult class too. Oh, the adult students, it's like a brain teaser for them, and they absolutely love it. Remind me to play that in my adult class. If you're one of my adult students, remind me to play that in class again soon, because that's a fun game. And it really, really helps you learn, like work on what steps should sound like, what the difference is between steps that are very similar, like a Maxi Ford and a buffalo. It really helps you figure that out. Then I already forgot the last game. Oh, it's not really a game. It's just something that I saw that some teachers do. And you have to get permission from your studio owner to do this because this could end badly. But you tape candy to the heel of your dancer's shoe. And you say, okay, you have to do flaps from this side to that side and all the way back to this side with this candy taped to your heel. So you can't put your heel down or you're going to crush your candy, and then you can't eat it. Like a lollipop, something that's wrapped. Obviously, you don't want to like tape just one Skittle to the bottom of the shoe because that's going to just be bad. But something that's like fully individually wrapped, or like a Snickers bar or something if you're allowed to have peanuts in your studio and stuff like that. Something fully wrapped that you can just tape to the bottom of the shoe and say, all right, so you're going to flap all the way from one side to the other side and then back again. And if you can do all that without putting your heel down, you get to eat the candy because it's still safe, still wrapped, has not been crushed. So even if it's crushed, you can still eat it. But you know what I mean. Unless it's a lollipop, then probably not. But yeah, it's a super fun game. It's much better with like younger students, and because they get very, very excited about not crushing their candy, and it really helps them remember to stay up on the balls of their feet and not get lazy and put the heel down. And I know it doesn't really work as well with older students because sometimes like adult students, sometimes physical limitations, you have to be on your heels. Like I have an adult student right now who on her left foot, she cannot go up on the ball of her foot for more than like a second because something with her tibia, I think, I don't remember, but she's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to be flat-footed. And I was like, you know what? As long as you're tapping, I'm happy. You do what your ability allows you to do. So that game wouldn't work in there. But with my younger ones, it works very, very well. I saw it in the Dance Teacher Network or something, and I tried it in my class, and the kids were like so excited when they got it right. Obviously, you have extra candy. If they step on it, you go, okay, no worries. You clean it up. You try it again. And they eventually get the candy, you know? So anyway, I hope that these are really, really helpful if you're a dance teacher and looking for fun things to do in your Halloween week top classes. I absolutely love Halloween week. I dress up different every single day of the week, and I like document it on my story on Instagram, so make sure you follow me there so you can see all the crazy costumes I'm going to get into this year. I literally don't know what I'm going to be at all. I kind of just make it up last minute every single year. This year, I only have one idea in mind and I don't know how to pull it off. I want to be Bunnicula, but I can't wear the fake vampire teeth. So I guess I would just be a bunny with like a gray piece of fruit. Like, or I don't know, or vegetable. I don't know. I don't know how to make it work without the teeth. So if anyone has any advice on what else I can add to the costume that tells people I'm a vampire bunny. I can't use makeup. I can't use fake teeth or like add on like little pointy ones. I can't do anything to my mouth. Sorry. So maybe Bunnicula is not going to work, but if you have any ideas, let me know. If you have any ideas of fun costumes I can be as someone with blonde hair, please let me know because that always makes things easier. But yeah, and whatever you guys are planning on being for Halloween, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to know. But yeah, I hope that this helps you guys out with class, or this was just a fun video to get some cool ideas. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button and join the TAP fam. We've got vlogs like this, choreography tutorials, step tutorials, technique exercises, challenges, all kinds of stuff. And it's all free resources for tap dancers and tap teachers right here on this channel. All you have to do is subscribe. The more subscribers I have, the more opportunity I have to keep this channel going. So please, please, please subscribe. Get your students to subscribe. I promise everything on here is family friendly. Get your friends to subscribe. But yeah, that'd be awesome. And also, speaking of thumbs up, hit the thumbs up button because these were really, really good ideas. And it helps YouTube push the video out so that more dance teachers can get ideas for fun games for class. So, thumbs up, subscribe, have fun this Halloween season, and as always, thank you for dancing with me.